Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Scorpio is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Scorpio, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that, it's the Death card. It is your superpower card. This is a very special card for you. It represents your best self. It represents the person that you are becoming. And I think you're ready to shed a skin. You're ready to step into the next version of yourself. You know, your life has been a journey, and I think that this is a moment to celebrate that journey that you've been on. The path of personal transformation, spiritual development, spiritual evolution. Now, it's possible with the Death card that something is ending, that you're moving on from something else. This is also the card of, shedding that skin, leaving that old life behind and stepping into something new. Let's find out what's going on for you, okay? We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread, a little bit of context here. Context is everything, right? There's a Five of Wands, a Queen of Wands, a Knight of Wands, a Five of Cups, and a Five of Swords. Interesting. That's some challenges. 5, 5, 5. Also, let me just say, more than challenges, the fives are the cards of change. Big changes, I think, mental, emotional changes, creative changes taking place in your life, all part of this path of evolution for you. Okay, so it feels like it's kind of perhaps a season of upheaval has been upon you. But here we have the completion of a cycle with the Universe card. Yes. We have the 10 of Swords. Yes, I like that. Getting out of a birdcage. Okay, getting out of that period of upheaval. Hermit mode and Devil energy. Wow, this is intense. I don't even know where to begin. I feel like your life has been constant, like motion, movement, turbulence, upheaval, a lot of stress, a lot of challenges, a lot of fights, a lot of assertiveness, a lot of having to defend yourself, a lot of advocating for yourself, standing up for yourself, defending yourself and your boundaries. And I feel like we're ready for all that stuff to change. And I feel like you're very confident in who you became through all those. You've been through the fire. I feel like whatever happened in your life, you've been through hell, Scorpio. And I don't use that word lightly. This is powerful. But I feel like who you're becoming because of this, all of this energy over here is somebody very, very strong, somebody who is very capable of, getting to the top of the mountain there with that Devil energy. I feel like all of your drives are intact and functioning properly. This was a real upheaval of your life, but I think that season is over now. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here with our little Tibetan prayer wheel right there on top. Now we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments right below the video. Now, let's look around the room. We see 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana cards. We see fire, fire, fire. A little bit of water and some air. So a lot of fire, okay? A lot of fire in the reading. And I think the fire, for one thing, is just there have been challenges, and you've stepped up to meet those challenges. You have faced things head on. You have been confronted with, friction with other people. You've been facing disappointments. You've been facing even like betrayals and mistrust. And it's really, it's kind of like, this is a really intense movie here. Like if I were watching this on the screen, this would be a lot of drama, a lot of action, a lot of, there's a lot of heartbreak and stuff, a very moving, intense film if this were on the screen. I feel like your life has been just, I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say about it. Let's talk about the death card though, okay? Because it is the ending of that phase, of that season of your life where there's closure. All this is going to be behind you now, okay? So that transformation is taking place. Something is ending, and we're honoring that by letting it be over. Celebrating the chance now to breathe and rest, relax, restore our energies. Things have been, I feel like everything's been up in the air. I don't know, I feel like this is like, this has got to be like the Matrix movie, right? Where there's a little bit of everything. There's like a love story, there's drama, there's action, a little bit of comedy here and there, right? It's kind of a movie that's got everything in it. We're happy that it's over, okay? And anything that's meant to stay will be here after the credits roll on this one, okay? So this is a good time for you to make space and allow that ending to happen. Clean out everything that doesn't need to belong, doesn't need to be there anymore. Release that energy. Delete stuff, unsubscribe, mop the floor, be done. Okay? Clearing out the old identity. Because you're stepping into the new version of yourself, and it has been a fiery road. A lot of twists and turns, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of pressure. New chapter is about to begin for you. But we need that exhale. We need that breath in between chapters. It's like the last chapter of the book was so intense, like you just need a minute before you start reading the next chapter. You know what I mean? That's how it feels to me. It's like, that's why they wait a year or two before they release the sequel to the movie. You got to give people some breathing room here, But you're crossing a threshold. I feel like life has been full of it's been chaotic maybe. All these words that are coming to me, just upheaval. I feel like everything's been disorganized. Everything has been in a state of flux for you. I don't know for how long, but I'm happy to say it looks like you're coming through the other side of that. You're crossing that threshold. Don't look back. Okay? There's freedom now. We're able to release all of this stuff. Let the chapter close. Your rebirth is already underway. Right? The five, let's talk about the fives now, because the fives of the tarot are all, first of all, Mars. 5 is the number of Mars. Mars is that war god, So all of the fives are about instability, change, upheaval. Even the 5 of Wands, right? It's competition, it's friction, it's strife. It's testing. Feel like you're constantly being tested by life. A lot of push and pull. It's a tug of war. Okay? This is friction, but this friction is facilitating growth. Okay? So the idea here was that you weren't going to take it personally. That you were going to look at this tension not as attack, but as kind of a proving ground. Okay? And I think that you set your sights on the target. You focused on the goal, and you tried not to Not to let your emotions sort of get the best of you there, right? This is a fiery will. This is the five-fingered hand. This is you reaching out into the world and advocating for yourself. You're reaching into life to get what you want, get what you need. Yeah, this is Saturn in Leo. This is you knowing how to control your power, using your strength in a way that is kind of strategic, channeling your energy into movement, into creativity, into exercise, into sparring matches or bouts, or like testing your energy, putting your butt to the test, really. Walking your talk. Yeah. Challenging yourself. Okay. You're holding your ground. You're finding your center. I feel like you know how strong you are now. You've moved through the noise of your life, and I think that it was a period of really coming to know yourself. Yeah. Coming to know your direction and knowing what you're capable of. Okay. This is you learning a lot about you and about what you're made of, what kind of metal you are, how strong you are. Down beneath the surface, we've got that Queen of Wands. As you learning to trust in yourself. Okay, this is part of that very confident version of you. This is your charisma, this is your power, this is your confidence. It's personal power. Okay. This is you now stepping into rooms with your chin up and your shoulders back. Your chest pushed out, that you're taking up space. You're saying, I'm here. You're owning your presence through this. I don't know what the heck you've been through. I kind of think that maybe, I don't know if you're in the military or first responder, something like that. Thank you for your service. It feels like you've been through this shit. Pardon my language. I know this is a family show. We've been through hell. Okay? It feels like war to me. Now, I don't know. The only thing we're missing is a tower card. I think what we're looking at, honestly, we're looking at the inside of a tower card. This feels like a tower. Okay, mentally and emotionally destabilizing, and really a whole lot of action, right? A whole lot of you needing to respond to the world, in a way that, like, it's traumatic. Okay, and so now you've got to take care of you. And now this is kind of like you've you're very aware of your presence now. There's a confidence in you that wasn't in there before. And so now it's kind of like you're expressing yourself more. This is you with a sense of style, a sense of like, I know who I am. I know what I'm made of. I know why I'm here. And you're just like, you're presenting yourself with your own, like, you got like a swagger to you now. You know what I mean? You got your own style. You're expressing yourself creatively. There's a stronger sense of identity than there was before. So this is a very fiery, confident, and really a magnetic, very charismatic, very confident version of you that's stepping forward from this fire. Yeah. You got a Knight of Wands behind you. This was the initiation of this action. This was your courage. This was high energy. There was something in your life and you went for it. Okay? And it's been this. It's been fighting, it's been disappointment, it's been defeat. You have to go through the disappointments and the defeats, but you have to keep fighting. To keep fighting, even when you're getting your butt kicked, that's creating this stature. So the Knight of Wands is courage. This was the bold step that you took toward your larger dream of life, or I don't know, into the fire. You leaped into the fire. Okay. You moved with maybe not confidence at first. I feel like confidence came later. I feel like this was just like, I'm just going to jump and see what happens. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm not going to hesitate. I'm just going to jump into it. And I feel like the confidence happens afterwards because of this, kind of like courage has to happen first and then confidence is created, you see. It's kind of like first you jump into the fire and you prove that you can handle it, and now you realize and now you acknowledge and you have proven to yourself that you deserve to take up space, That you've earned your place somewhere. Maybe this is, I don't know, maybe this is the military, maybe this is boot camp, maybe this is, it could be anything. I don't know. You've got to tell me. Okay. This is someone who's just asking or kind of thinking you know where you want to go, you know where you want to be. You know the destination. I want to be here. What do I have to do to get here? And whatever the answer is, this is you jumping in and doing that, doing whatever it takes to get to where I want to be. Maybe this is a martial art, a sport, a skill. Maybe it's something at school. Maybe this is a career. Maybe this is you starting your own business or something like this. I don't know. Working your way up the ladder. It doesn't really matter what it is. And the thing is, there are no pentacles here. So it literally doesn't matter what it is. What matters is how and why you're doing it. And that's what we see. We see the how and the why. Of course, we have our 5 of Cups up here. The disappointments. Okay? Loss. Grief. Yeah. Feeling the pain of what you're doing and not trying to gloss over it, not trying to pretend that, every day is great, every day is sunshine, look at me, I'm smiling. No, just saying, you know what, that sucked. That was hard, that hurt. But we're not blaming anybody. We're just kind of saying, sadness is not failure. None of these cards are failure. It's disappointment. It's like, I was expecting something else and then it didn't happen. I'm disappointed. It's not failure, it's sadness. Okay. But this is us acknowledging the negative emotion here, the pain, and letting it wash away from us again. So learning how to deal with our emotions. I feel like this is, really do feel like this is like, maybe this is inside the pressure cooker, or inside the tower, or inside the temperance card, the pressure cooker. You're on the blacksmith's anvil. And whatever situation you've been in your life, whatever situation is ending now, it taught you how to deal with negative emotions, how to persist, how to keep fighting even when you're crying at the same time, how to still push forward even when it hurts, even when it's challenging, even when it's difficult. You've built up an emotional strength, an emotional maturity here. Okay? And I think as you move forward, you got to honor what hurt. Honor what hurt, because healing is going to come from that. When you acknowledge what this was, you can sort of heal that. Okay? Anyway, 5 of Swords now. 5 of Swords might be a card of defeat, but it's not failure. It's maybe that we have to lose some battles, but we're not going to lose the war. It may be that I'm taking jiu-jitsu classes now, and kind of feels like this a little bit. You're going to put in blood and sweat and tears. You're going to get your butt kicked. You're going to be thrown down on the mat. You're going to get hurt. Things are going to happen where you're going to say, ow. Like I've got bruises all up and down my arm right here because I was pinched. It wasn't on purpose, but my skin got caught in someone's knee and whatever. But there's going to be owies, emotional owies. There are going to be physical owies. There will be ego owies. But that's what trains you. You know, you have to do the battle. You have to do those things, and that's how you build up the strength. Okay? And I think that this is our mind now dealing with that and understanding conflict and understanding how to get control of our thoughts and how to get control of our ego. Okay? And we're engaging to understand how to do something. And so we're subjecting ourselves to trials and tribulations because we want to know what we're made of. I want to know who I am. But I also want to know how to do the thing, you know? And to learn how to do the thing, you've got to go and you've got to do it probably pretty poorly at first. You're going to learn a lot about yourself. Okay, but we've got to put our pride aside a little bit. Yeah. This is stress. All of the fives are stress. All of the fives are twisting you. Okay? And this is a lot of stress. This is a high stress situation. It may not be one that you chose necessarily. Okay? But it is one that you are choosing how to respond to. And maybe it's just some place you found yourself. Maybe I don't know how you got here, but how you choose to respond, how you choose to handle this, is determining who you're going to become on the other side of this. Yeah. Think about that. How you choose to respond is going to determine who you are on the other side. And this is, you know, this is understanding the necessity of stress and how stress isn't the enemy. Stress is going to help us to grow into who we need to become. Now, we don't want too much stress. That's not good for us. This may not be a situation that you chose. It feels like it is a high stress situation. I'm happy to say that it seems like it's ending now. But it's a pressure cooker because it's changing who you are as a person. Okay? This may not be the tower. I kind of feel like this is the blacksmith shop. You're inside the pressure cooker, which is the temperance card. Maybe that'll be over here. But now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Let me know which card on the path of the dove resonates with you the most. Okay? Before we talk about the path of the serpent, I want to do one oracle of manifestation. Power to attract. When you connect to spirit, all you need is drawn to you. I keep myself in the flow. I want you to type that in the comments. I keep myself in the flow. When you connect to spirit, all you need is going to be drawn to you. So it's kind of like when you're in these dire moments of upheaval and intense stress, these what feels like a very traumatic situation. When you're in the middle of those situations, you never lost connection to spirit. You never lost heart, you know? And I think that is like kind of having faith or trusting in the process or trusting in the spirit or universe or God, goddess, deity, higher self, true self, higher mind, cosmic consciousness, whatever. Trusting in that high priestess that's going to guide you out of this and lead you to your best life and to your best self. The universe card or the world card, completion. It is over, and now you've got to integrate the lessons of that. There is wholeness. There is mastery here. A new cycle is ready to go. But first you have to acknowledge this one. Recapitulate this one. Understand this one and assimilate the lessons, the knowledge, the teachings of this one. Okay? You're integrating something that is very overwhelming, very stressful. And you're going to be able to relax. Okay? The results of all of this work and all this change is kind of the upgraded version of you. And I feel that from this moment on, doors are going to open more easily for you. Not because the doors have gotten flimsy, but because you've gotten stronger at opening them. Okay? Celebrate, honor, ground. Because you did this. You got through this pressure cooker. Thank you for your service. Okay? Can't help but feel like this is a tour of duty. This is boot camp. This is some kind of a traumatic event. The new cycle will begin soon. In the meantime, enjoy this moment to breathe. We need that exhale. But stand in your wholeness. The world is going to respond to who you've become through this process. Okay? And the Ten of Swords is, well, it really is the end of this journey, and I feel like it is a situation, whatever it is or was for you, it kind of like it squeezed everything out of you. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's a boot camp, because this Ten of Swords is like a complete breaking down. We had to be like completely taken apart before we could be built back up again. But it is over. And acknowledging that gives you a sense of relief. Okay, it's a bird cage. Pardon me, I had to hit the cough button there for a second. I'm still dealing with this chest thing. My first 3 readings today, I had no voice. That laryngitis coming. Anyway, this is the bird cage. Kind of locked in that cage, emotions run high, anxiety runs high, it's stressful in there. You know, I used to have birds when my parents did. They weren't mine, I didn't choose them. My parents got a parrot when I was little. We kept the parrot, big scarlet macaw, kept it in a cage. And the bird, I believe that bird went crazy, and it's terrible. And I know it's awful, right? I don't believe, for me personally anyway, because of that, experience, I don't believe that birds, anyway, typically should be kept in cages. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of people that have birds, and those birds are very happy. And that makes me happy. But this bird, my parents' bird, was not happy. And I think that it's a traumatic kind of situation. It's high stress, okay? And it's traumatizing. And it really sets off our sympathetic nervous system. Okay, too much stress is no good. Getting out of the bird cage then is relief. Okay, it feels like freedom. It feels like things can finally calm down. So we're done fighting now. We're ready to be restored and lifted and built back up. Your energy is returning to you. The worst has passed. The sunrise is coming. And you're free of this, okay? And I don't know, maybe this is like, maybe you're like an MMA fighter or something. I feel like you're just kind of in the ring. You're in like the boxing ring. You're in the fight zone. And I think that it's now done. Yeah. Closing that chapter, because I feel like it's the death card. You know that. It's the death and the rebirth. I feel like that death is done. The rebirth is ready. It's already happening, And of course we have our hermit energy here, which is kind of, to me, talking about the slow reintegration into the kind of civilian world, right? Into the kind of normal life. It's like, it's how we're adjusting to the world, how we're adjusting to it when we're still in our sympathetic nervous system activation. We're still in this high anxiety, high stress kind of situation, high pressure, It's like the bird adapting to life outside the cage. It's like us adapting now to life outside the pressure cooker. We're not on the blacksmith's anvil anymore. It's gonna take a little time to re-enter, society, let's say. Okay? And so for a while, it may seem like we're kind of disconnected from people. It may be that we need more quiet time, that we're trying to be kind of anonymous. We got that cloak of invisibility on, and we're just like just trying to do our own thing and slowly ease ourselves. We're trying to acclimate again, okay? An acclimation. So choose simplicity over stimulation. Protect your energy. Stay away from the noise. Okay? Protect your calm, your peace. Journal a lot. Counseling, therapy, psychotherapy, stuff like that would be a good idea. Okay. I feel like you're going to be a little bit more protective and a little bit more defensive of your energy for a while, and that's to be expected from this, okay? Now, the Devil card, to me, kind of feels like, it feels like your life force and your creative power. It feels like sovereignty, okay? It feels like the engine of the car now. It's like to me, it feels like you have this ability now to do whatever you want in life. There is no challenge that you can't face. There's no mountain high enough. There's no challenge that's too great for you. The Devil card represents the engine of the car. And all of these fives are you really like tuning up the engine and rebuilding. You rebuild an engine, you tear it down, clean all the parts, and you put it back together with some souped up gadgets and stuff. That's what's going on here. You've torn yourself apart and you've put yourself back together in an upgraded way. And now you are too powerful. Now you've got all of this horsepower, right, in your engine, and you can do anything you want. There's no challenge that you can't handle. Okay? But it's the drive, it's the human drive. Sovereign drive, assertive drive, aggressive drive, right? The fire drive. And then you've got the water drive, pleasure. I want life to feel good. But then on top, you can't just have those two, right? Because that would be, we've maladjusted, to life. What we need is the creative drive, the generative drive that sort of rules over the aggressive drive and the pleasure drive. Having that creative drive, the generative drive says, I'm going to put all of this force and fire, all my horsepower of my engine, I'm going to put it into something that's going to make the world a better place. I'm going to put it into something that's going to create something good. I'm going to leave my mark on the world, leave my dent on the universe. I'm going to create something that lives beyond me. I'm going to create something outside of ego. I'm going to live a life of purpose. I'm going to lift people out of suffering. I'm going to improve the quality of life for myself and others. I'm going to get up the mountain. I'm going to walk the spiral road up Big Rock Candy Mountain. That's the creative, generative drive that has to be the boss over the aggressive drive and the pleasure drive, right? The fire and the water drives. Otherwise, we get back to the world, we get back to civilian life, and now I never served, so I apologize if me using the kind of military analogy is inappropriate, okay? I got a lot of respect for military personnel and anybody that does any kind of like frontline stuff or first responder type of things. That's high intensity stuff, yeah. But without the generative or creative drive, the aggressive drive and the pleasure drives leave us maladapted to the world. Then we're out there picking fights. We're out there seeking pleasure and running from pain. It's maladaptive, okay? And so we need to focus our energy on something that is going to, leave a positive legacy. And I think we should look at the mystery card. I think you understand what I mean about those drives. So for this, I would like to see Wheel of Fortune, Empress would be great. Maybe a 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, or a 6 of something to show, that there's balance and something that's showing kind of that we're adapting to the world again, If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments below. Let's take a look. Oh yes, 10 of Pentacles. Because this is exactly that. This is the legacy. This is the top of Big Rock Candy Mountain, by the way. This is the good life, the best life. You got your pets, your plants, your people. This is paradise, okay? But it's also legacy. It's long term. You're leaving something there for future generations. You're leaving a positive legacy. It's creativity, it's generation. It's generational wealth. You're creating something that is outside of ego. This is the real goal. To leave life better than how you found it. And so that is you channeling your fire and your air and your water into creativity. Doesn't mean you're going to just paint. Like, oh, paint. My creativity is not just like art. It's not just painting pictures or whatever, right? Or making music. Creativity is what you're leaving behind. What kind of a world are you creating? You know, what is your mark on the universe going to be? What impression are you leaving in the world? World card. What are you generating through your being? Through the engine of the car, where are you taking your life? I think you're building something that is outside of you, something bigger than ego, something that you will partake of, but something that's going to be around long after you're gone. Something for other people to enjoy. You're making the world a better place. Makes me want to cry. I love this. We're going to do an extended reading too. If you want to stick around, there's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Scorpio Mondays and Thursdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.